call to order and declare that the official business of this term of Bowie County Special Term of Bowie County Commissioners Court begins at 10 o'clock a.m. on August 29, 2014. Present at the court session are 4 of our 5 voting members. Commissioner Precinct 3, Kelly Blackburn. Commissioner Precinct 2, Tom Whitten, is on an excused absence, a mission trip to Cuba. Keep him in your prayers. Myself, Bowie County Judge Sterling Lacey, Commissioner Precinct 4, Mike Carter, and Commissioner Precinct 1, Sammy Stone. I declare that the quorum is present. Also sitting at the bench to assist my far right is our County Auditor, William Tye. On my immediate left is our County Clerk, Tina Petty, who serves as the ex officio clerk of the court. And Commissioner Blackburn's left is my Administrative Assistant, Rachel Cherry. We did not have any requests for public comments, so there will be no Commissioners Court response to public comments. That's agenda item 1 and 2. Agenda item number 3. Consider and take action to bring back to the table to authorize county auditor to obtain legal and accounting guidance regarding overspending the net budget and general fund budget, the general fund balance. And that was introduced Monday. We put it off till today. It is tabled right now. Is this something that needs any action? Haven't you been able to obtain legal and accounting guidance?
I have obtained legal guidance as far as the tax anticipation note that we did. No accounting guidance yet, though.
Okay. Do you need authorization to do this?
I would like authorization to do it.
Okay. So, Chair would entertain a motion for us to bring back to the table to authorize the county auditor to obtain legal and accounting guidance regarding overspending the net budget and the general fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Stone, second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Now we'll go to agenda item number 4. Consider and take action to authorize county auditor to obtain legal and accounting guidance regarding overspending the net budget and general fund balance.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Stone to make that authorization.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Blackburn, we may move you down a chair this way. You feel like the student in the corner?
No, sir, they're doing fine.
Second by Commissioner Carter. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item number 5, consider and take action to bring back to the table to develop a plan for expenditures in excess of budget, net revenue, or fund balance.
Is this necessary?
Okay, first question is, do we need to untable this?
Did the last item take care of this item? Is my question. The plan for the expenditures in excess of budget, net revenue, and fund balance. I don't know that that's necessary because the letter from Mr. Pollen states that the $1.93 million left in the tax anticipation note is revenue.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We have our outside auditor here, Todd Pruitt, but we're not talking just about the $1.9 million that we have left. It's my opinion that we will reclassify the entire $5 million.
Correct.
And
because it's revenue, correct?
And recognize that according to Mr. Pollen, we can recognize it as revenue.
Good, good. That way our budget's not in a deficit, correct?
True, and I think, Todd, would you like to address that?
Todd, if you would, let us decide first if we're going to untable or bring back to the table this issue, and then the very first thing we'll do, if we approve that, is to call on the...
Well, for the sake of discussing it, I'll make a motion we bring it back to the table.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Carter, second by Commissioner Blackburn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. And now, we will consider to take action to develop a plan for expenditures in excess of budget, net revenue, or fund balance. All right, now we're calling on you. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, and one thing I just wanted to make sure everyone was clear of is that there's a difference between recognizing the funds as revenue for budgetary purposes so that you can legally spend them and the way they will be reported in your GAAP basis financial statements. It's perfectly okay to recognize them as revenue in your budgetary statements, but GAAP financial statements dictate that they will be reported as a liability in your general fund. Does that make sense?
So it doesn't have a net effect on your budget revenues because it's not going to be reported there, correct?
It will be reported as a revenue in your budgetary schedule so that you can legally comply and spend that money. However, if you're looking at your GAAP basis financial statements in your audit report, it will be reported as a liability and it won't be in your fund balance, so you could have a deficit equity in your GAAP basis financial statements. However, that's a completely separate issue from whether or not you're complying with your budget.
Have you visited with William on the procedures to get those monies?
Briefly. We talked briefly. And what I would like to do, first of all, we're going to have to certify this additional revenue. It's revenue that we did not expend. I think the local government code says it has to be certified. We've never done that before. I need some guidance in that area.
Which revenues are we speaking?
$5 million.
Okay.
Right. I need some guidance in that. Then I would like some guidance from Todd and his firm as to how we want to record this. I think there's a couple options that we have. We could either set up a special budget for it, or we could just record it perhaps as revenue in the budget that we have now. But I want some guidance on that, and then I plan to bring that back to the court, show that to the court, and let the court approve what we plan to do.
While we're doing this, are we going to go ahead and get the guidance on transferring the so-called FEMA fund back into the general account?
Oh, we can talk about that, yeah, but that's, yeah.
Is that something?
But I think this is the main issue right here
Well,
today.
I agree, but there's still $750,000 it would be nice to have available. Even if it carries over into October, it's already done and is there in case we need it.
Okay.
So make that a part of what you're doing here. Do we have any option except setting a budget for that loan? I thought that was required under law.
I mean, in order to spend the money?
No, I just thought we were required. We're required, if we have additional revenues coming during the budget year after we set our final budget, to set a budget for that revenue. But I thought that also included, if we borrowed money, then we had to set a budget for that revenue.
And that's really a legal question for your attorney. But yes, I mean, I would consult with your attorney. It's a legal question, but I would think that you're going to have to adopt a special budget for this $5 million. Does that answer your question?
That's the way I read the
That's
law.
the way I read it too, but
I don't
again,
think it needs an attorney to explain, but we'll get.
just want to make sure that you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, that you're doing it in compliance with law. I would consult an attorney, make sure that you are doing that. And from an accounting perspective, you can have a budgetary basis of accounting that's totally different from GAAP, and that's fine. It won't be a problem from an accounting standpoint. Again, just keep in mind when you're looking at your audited GAAP financial statements, that won't be revenue, that will be a liability. So you'll have a difference between your budgetary basis and your GAAP basis financial statements and the reconciliation between the two.
Is that the way we treated the $1.5 million loan we did 2 years ago, as in our financial statements as a liability? I believe that's how we did
If
that.
it was short-term, and I
Right.
don't remember off the top
Well,
of
this
my
one's
head.
short-term too.
Under GAAP, in governmental fund financial statements, anytime you borrow money that has to be repaid in 1 year or less, it has to be reported as a liability. It does not go into your fund balance. Any long-term debt that you pay back in a period greater than a year does flow through your fund balance. So if it was short-term, I'm sure it was reported as a liability.
According to Mr. Pollen, he states that you should pass a special budget to address the spending of these funds. They're all about spending. Is it too late to do a special budget, or do we need to go back and do a budget based on how they were spent and what they were spent on?
Yeah, that's probably something we need to sit down and discuss with the attorney.
It says you should, it doesn't say you have to. But that's interpretation of it.
And according to the law, it says on certification, the court may adopt a special budget. So I'm not sure that we have to or not. I mean, I just need some guidance in this. We've never done this before.
With our conversation yesterday with Jim Allison, he said we basically had two options. We could do a special budget, or we could do an emergency amendment of the budget. You have two options that you can do either one.
Just as long as there's a paper trail on them
Yeah.
where the money was spent.
I think you already have that set up somewhat. don't you?
I've got that set up.
That's what I was gonna say, I think you've got that covered.
The item before us is to develop a plan for expenditures in excess of budget, net revenue, or fund balance. Unfortunately, it doesn't say anything about the loan proceeds.
No.
No.
Are you on item 6?
Yes, number 6, we're here now to take action to develop a plan for expenditures of in excess of budget, net revenue, or fund balance.
I think the advice that I get on how we need to record this and what we need to do will help us with developing a plan, but we're not sure exactly how it needs to be recorded just yet. And that's what we need advice on that.
Is this on all the funds that we have that we're
Mhm.
moving into the general operating account?
Well,
Or basically the $5 million?
the $5 million, yeah.
Well, not agenda item number 6 is not limited to the $5 million. There's no mention at all of the loan or the $5 million in number 6.
It
Okay.
just says develop a plan for the expenditures.
It doesn't mention any fund.
Right. So it's not limited to the proceeds of this tax anticipation note of $5 million. Let's not limit our plan to it, to how we're going to
Right.
account for those revenues.
But should we not first make a motion to recognize this $5 million as legal revenue for Jim Allison?
We didn't tell the public is on the agenda, we're going to do it today.
Pardon?
So we need to do that the next time we meet, which will probably be September the 8th. We're limited because we didn't tell the public we were going to take such action on our agenda today.
Well, agenda number 6 says we need to develop a plan, and that would be starting to develop a plan.
It's developing a plan for expenditures of it. You're asking to certify it. Okay, how we're going to certify it. Do you need certification before September 8th in order to develop a plan
No,
for
it's,
expenditures?
I mean,
I don't think it hurts at all for us to put that on the agenda and act on it the next time we meet.
So the main thing I want to get across today is we agree as a court to recognize this money so we can pay our employees and stuff.
Well, I agree.
And how we need to go about doing it, you know, in a legal manner so we can get it on the next month's agenda.
Right, we need to make sure we have all the monies available to us and that's in cash right now and get it moved to the general operating account. I don't know what adjusting entries that we're going to have to move these monies out of cash. Well, the 1.93 million, as I understand it, is revenue already. It doesn't have to be moved from cash. But the other funds that are like in that FEMA account that is nothing but cash, we need guidance on how to move that into the general operating account so it's available to us to make it through September and into October. Is that something that you can do for us, Todd? Is that
Sure.
Give us guidance on how to do that?
Definitely. It's simple.
And that along with the other monies coming in, sales tax and what little we have left in the bank, hopefully, we can squeak by through September, not Linda. I think according to Mike Sandifer's letter, his guesstimation was $1.7 million. It looks like it may be carried over into October to start October with. So if we're frugal, maybe things will be okay.
And to come back to something that you were addressing, I believe the payroll that's to be paid, is it going to be over the weekend or is it going to be after?
Actually, it's today.
Okay,
Since the
today.
first is on Monday and we're off Monday,
So midnight tonight or last night? I didn't check.
probably
my
already in your
this morning.
account.
Okay, but anyway, this payroll is already covered.
Right, I understand that.
And we'll be meeting September the 8th.
That's when we'll have to vote to move more than 1.93 million.
Yes.
Right.
and
You'll do
so-
all of that before you actually pay bills and meet the next payroll, so you
Yes,
should take care
yes.
of
I-
it.
Again, it's a tight squeeze, but I think, William, we're in a position to be okay until September the 8th.
Should be,
Now,
yeah.
if we don't take this action then, but I feel better if we had it on the agenda that we were going to certify these funds.
But we are voting for William to get guidance, legal and.
I hope so, yes.
Legal and.
As part of the plan on item number 6,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that we authorize the county auditor to obtain legal and accounting guidance regarding certification of the $5 million loan as revenue and also guidance on developing a special budget for expenditures for the remainder of 2014.
Okay. Now, we've authorized him to obtain legal and accounting guidance already. Have we done that already this morning? That's in item number 4?
I think so,
No.
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Move
yeah,
forward.
we did that under
Do we
4.
make a
Item
motion
four.
on that?
Yeah, we had a motion and a second to do that under 4.
That's the one you made the motion.
Okay.
This is, 6 is developing a plan for expenditures. How we're gonna spend the money since we're in excess of the budget. In other words, we got a deficit. I think that's where William Ty was wanting the guidance to make sure that with the budget being in deficit, how this was all supposed to be coded and spent and
But
taken care
it
of.
has to be certified before we can do anything with it.
Right.
Yes.
And so can you read that motion without the part we've already passed?
Let's see. Let's see, how would we do this? I make a motion to authorize the county auditor to obtain guidance regarding certification of the $5 million loan as revenue and also guidance on developing a special budget for expenditures for the remainder of 2014.
Okay.
I'll
Would
second
that suffice?
I'll second that.
Oh, you left out certification. I need some advice on that because we've never,
No,
was that in
we
there?
left
Okay.
it.
I didn't do
Okay.
that. That's good, I like that.
Along.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, and your recording has it. I didn't get it written down. I have a motion by Commissioner Stone, and a second by Commissioner Carter. And it has to do with preparing us to certify these funds and
Develop a plan for the special budget.
for special budget.
For expenditures for the balance of 2014.
Okay, very good, very good. And we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. This one we kicked, number 7. Consider a report from the chairman of the Financial Advisory Committee regarding reimbursement of taxpayer funds from the Courthouse Security Fund. Take action to obtain research and specific recommendation for the next meeting. And we kicked around waiting until September the 8th. We wound up talking about tabling it today, and then we decided that we just wouldn't act on it.
We have Todd Pruitt here today. This would be a good time to get his input on whether or not we can actually go back and open up previous years and reimburse those years for payroll that was spent, reimburse those years with with some funds out of the courthouse security. Would we be opening up a can of worms there, Todd? Or leave a sleeping dog alone?
Well, this is I've just found out about this issue really this morning. I probably need more information and do some research in order to be able to give you some guidance. But I did get an email this morning kind of outlining some of the basic issues, but it's a very complex issue, so I'll need a little bit of time to come back and bring you an answer for that one.
You can give us some guidance or recommendation to William before next commissioner's court so we can address it then.
Yes.
Good deal.
That will work.
So I just move we table that item until next commissioner's court meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Stone to table agenda item number 7, and seconded by Commissioner Carter. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. One thing for the sake of our employees, if the media will help us with this, the question was brought up when we met Monday. The question for the court, should the county employees come back to work after Labor Day? And the answer is yes. Everything is in place for their departments to have money to expend for their operation, and everything is in place. The money is already in hand to pay them for that pay period that starts on the 1st. And so, yes, we have a plan in place, and the money is actually in hand, and employees should show up Tuesday morning on their jobs.
And they will get paid.
They will be paid. The last item of business for us is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second that one too.
Commissioner Stone, second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion carries. We are adjourned.